A sneak peek of the new SLS hotel on the north end of the Las Vegas Strip coming up in a live report.
An eye in the sky, the watchful help the north end of the Strip is getting on this big day, all thanks to Metro.
And jackpots going higher than ever. The new deal that has slot machines offering more money to gamers.
Welcome to a brighter morning. This is 8 News Now with Kirsten Joyce, Sherry Swentz, and Brian Loftus.
Tonight is the night. The newest full-fledged resort and casino on the Las Vegas Strip opens.
The SLS Las Vegas takes over the space left behind by the legendary Sahara when it closed down 3 years ago. A good Friday morning to you. I'm Kirsten Joyce.
And I'm Aaron Drawhorn. Brian Loftus has the day off. Celebrity guests, a major fireworks show, and plenty of pomp and circumstance heading late into the night.
That's what's planned for the grand opening of the SLS at midnight. We, of course, have live team coverage this morning marking this big day.
Ken Smith bringing us views from high above in Chopper 8 on the north end of the Strip. But let's first get straight out to Cherie Johnson, who is live inside the revamped resort. And Cherie, does it have that brand new casino smell?
Oh my gosh, you know what? I so hate that you all have to be in the studio and I get to be here, but we definitely got the VIP treatment this morning inside the new SLS hotel. So right now we're inside the casino, which is 60,000 square feet, but I want to pan over and show you for those who remember. Now this is 800 degrees, one of many restaurants. This is a pizzeria, but if you remember, this was the hallway to the entrance of the NASCAR Cafe in the old Sahara Hotel. But I want to show you a few more highlights inside. The rooms are basically in 3 towers: Story, World, and Lux. The Story Tower is very fun and vibrant. The World Tower is sophisticated and sleek. I think that's more Kirsten style. And Lux is exactly what it sounds like, very plush. The casino is 60,000 square feet. The gaming area has 800 of the latest slot and poker machines and 70 classic game tables. And just to give you an idea, the actual size of the entire property is about 2 million square feet. And the price tag on the new SLS is $415 million. Now, the hotel is owned by SBE Hospitality Company, and we spoke with the president and CEO, Sam B., and he says from the rooms to the casino to the entertainment, they really want people to be wowed when they step foot inside.
When you went to the Sahara, you didn't know what to expect. And what we're trying to do now with SLS Las Vegas is that same element of surprise, where people are excited to show up because they know that is the hottest spot on the planet. It's the most relevant place to be.
And check this out. Have you ever heard of Clio? It's in LA, but in 30 minutes, we'll take a sneak peek inside. We'll talk to the owner of this restaurant inside the new SLS. It will be here, found nowhere else in Nevada. Plus, we'll show you some of the other restaurants and nightlife that you can expect. And as we are back out here live, I mean, the hotel has cuisine from dozens of different countries. Too bad we don't get a taste this morning, but we're satisfied because we are inside the hotel that it's hard to believe will be open in less than 24 hours. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Sheree. It is so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, exciting. And it's amazing they were able to take the Sahara and transform it like that. Thank you, Sheree. If you've made your way past the SLS lately, you might have seen something that caught your eye. This mobile camera at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara is on 24/7, watching that corner's every move. Metro Police put it there to crack down on what they call nuisance crimes like public intoxication, panhandling, and graffiti. We're told even if officers can't patrol the area at every hour of every day, people tend to behave more when there's a camera around.
You have to think of crime in general. If you're not going to commit a crime if you know somebody's watching, and that's the big thing.
Metro says the camera can be deployed anywhere throughout the city or the county.
And guess who's got a nice view from high above, of course? Ken Smith, checking it all out.
Yes, I am. You know, I love casino openings too. Really exciting to see another casino opening up here in the Valley. You know, just think about it. It was back on May 16th, 2011 when the Sahara shut down. And now here we are opening up a brand new casino tonight at the stroke of midnight. And one of the things that really kind of caught my attention here is this statue that's right here at the main entrance. I have no idea what that is. But wow, it's kind of cool though. Some sort of artsy-fartsy stuff probably imported from Los Angeles. But pretty neat stuff here. It looks like they got 3 different towers here, and they got a garage on the backside around Paradise, and then they have a main garage here on the front side. Now, if you're a Nevada local, most of us watching, of course, and this morning are live here in town, you can take the monorail for only $1 each way with your Nevada ID. So that might be your best bet if you plan on heading over here tonight. Right now, traffic very quiet. It is the calm before the casino storm. Now we'll send it down to Demetria for the rest of our morning commute.
Well, wait, Ken, I had a really important question for you. What's the word on a buffet? Because we know you love those buffets.
I have not got the taste test yet, so hopefully maybe they'll invite me over here at the SLS, give me the taste test.
All right, thank you, Ken. Well, down here on our roadways, freeways look great this morning. We're looking at US 95 near Decatur area. Our northbound lanes are moving away from us. Southbound 95 heading toward the Spaghetti Bowl area. Expect some minor delays as you make that transition to southbound 15. Let's check one more area of town from our live cams, I-15 and Flamingo. A very smooth drive along the resort corridor this morning. Southbound lanes are the ones moving away from us. Northbound 15 is heading toward us here. Once again, looks great along the resort corridor. And those of you coming in from the south part of the valley around Blue Diamond area, you're not going to run into any severe delays. I also wanted to let you know about a closure. Those of you in Henderson have seen that Mohawk Drive between Lake Mead and Galleria is closed. This roadway will reopen on Sunday. All right, now we're going to send things to Sherry for a check of weather.
All right, thanks so much, Demetria. And leave it to Ken to find the artsy-fartsy stuff and the classy part of the SLS, all right, which looks absolutely wonderful. It really does. Can't wait to get over there and check that out. Look at the view looking off to the Spring Mountains this morning. Boulder Station camera shows a nice, clear picture of the valley. Things look nice and wide open. Now, that was not the case yesterday. As we roll back the radar, I just wanted to show you how those thunderstorms just erupted and converged right down at state line. So here we go. We're going back. Boom, look at all the lightning, the heavy rain right along I-15. There were flash flood warnings down around State Line to Mountain Pass to Nipton Road, and even up into the Spring Mountains where we had heavy rain yesterday. And we still have a lot of that residual leftover moisture in the air. Temperatures falling back into the low 70s, even upper 60s south into the valley. So the numbers look good, but when you factor in the high humidity, 50+% humidity this morning, even over 60% east side. West side's a little bit drier. It doesn't feel as good as it could, but we're going to start to dry out as we get through Friday and the weekend. Some residual clouds this afternoon and back up noon upper 80s and afternoon Kirsten mid 90s for your Friday. We're going to heat up a little more for your weekend too. We'll check that out in your 7-day forecast.
All right, mid 90s, not bad. Thank you, Sherry. Former Nevada lawmaker Stephen Brooks pled guilty to charges related to that run-in with police last year. He admitted in court to resisting arrest in that encounter. He was accused of attacking his wife, then police. Next week, he also plans to plead guilty to having a firearm in a separate case where he was accused of threatening to harm the Nevada Assembly leader Marilyn Kirkpatrick.
Nearly 300 people will soon be looking for new jobs after UMC announced its biggest layoff in recent history. Right now, the hospital has more than $500 million in expenses, and Clark County taxpayers are footing $71 million of that. The latest cutback should save UMC about $21 million over the next 9 months or so. One of the reasons for the recent troubles is a change in law.
With the expansion of Medicaid, with ACA, with the removal of Clark County social services payments, and the fact that the county does not have the ability to sustain some of the budget needs throughout the entire county, we had to look at reductions in the labor.
We're told the hospital will continue to focus on its quality health care, such as being Nevada's only level 1 trauma center. The hospital will also work with patients so they can find other health care providers, and they say they're going to help the laid off employees.
Jackpots could be growing a lot larger the next time you stroll through a casino to compete with lotteries like Mega Millions and the Powerball. Hundreds of slots are now linked together across state lines. It's taken years to make this work, but now slot machines here in Nevada and New Jersey officially linked up. The more people who play a slot, the higher the jackpot goes. 600 machines here in Nevada, 100 machines in Atlantic City are also part of the system.
Las Vegas is trying to attract gay couples, even though they can't get married here in the marriage capital of the world. This ad has been running mostly on Bravo. It shows a couple checking into a hotel. When the woman runs off to the bathroom, another man walks up and the front desk clerk thinks they're together, and both seem to go along with it as what happens here stays here, flashes there on the screen. This is the first mainstream TV campaign aimed at the LGBT community by the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. There has been a recent push to accommodate that demographic, with the Strip's first gay club opening in Bally's and also some casinos hosting gay parties.
All right, 10 past the hour on this Friday, sitting this one out.
Why a standout soccer star says he's taking a leave from Team USA.
Drivers struggle to make right turns because something's blocking their view. We told Henderson about it. They're taking action next on What's Driving You Crazy.
Welcome back. It is 6:13, and the Ice Bucket Challenge continues to take over Facebook feeds all over the country.
Of course it does. More than $80 million has been raised in total for ALS research.
This has been such a successfully huge campaign, hasn't it? If you haven't been challenged yet, this weekend you'll get a chance to get wet. That's because Godden Ford dealership has accepted the Ice Bucket Challenge. They took the challenge with their employees last weekend. That's this video. And now they're nominating you to step up. The offer stands. Anyone can stop by the dealership tomorrow. That's Saturday at noon and take the Ice Bucket Challenge. The dealership will donate $100 to ALS research for anyone who dunks themselves with the ice bucket. If you can't wait till then, well, we've been challenged. The Media Morning Risers Ice Bucket Challenge takes place today, thanks to 96.3 KKLZ Morning Show. I'll be taking the plunge along with some other morning folks. Now, Jim Tofty, Carla Ray, Mike O'Brien, that you see right there, challenging all the morning media folks in town, will show up at Town Square today at 1 o'clock, and you can stop by. You can cheer us on. Maybe you can do the plunge yourself. You can donate money to ALS, and we're just all going to have a good time. The weather's going to be great for it today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was wondering, it has been a little wacky of a week.
You know, I've seen all my friends on Facebook. We've seen so many celebrities doing this, you know, and even Sheriff Gillespie, and I mean, everybody here in town, so it's about time. You, my dear.
I'm writing a check. I am writing a check, I know.
Okay.
I helped dunk Brian, but I didn't undertake it myself. I am writing a check. I
all
just
right. Have you done it, Aaron?
Couple things.
I think I've been challenged, I heard, through the grapevine.
Okay,
But,
there we go.
I'll probably be like Kirsten, write a check.
This could go on and on and on, really. I mean, it just has not lost its momentum.
That's great.
Which is awesome. Wow, ALS, got to be happy about it. All right, happy that we're drying out and those storms are shifting off to the east. Gorgeous shot as we look off to the west. The mountains got clobbered again yesterday, as well as down around State Line. You can see how the heavy rain converged along I-15 over into Arizona. Now, Arizona will still be in line for maybe some thunderstorms, and even Kingman, you might have a slight chance of some thunderstorms in the afternoon. There's still plenty of residual moisture in place, but the energy has been around this low pressure system, which is now shifting out of Southern California through Arizona today. And you can really see most of the moisture this morning way over into New Mexico. So that's going to leave us with a drier air moving in. Southwesterly breezes, and they could get pretty bumpy up on the mountain today. We'll look for mid-90s here in the valley, up on the mountain 70s, and then as we get through the weekend, lots of sunshine and temps warm up back to about 100 degrees as kids head back to school on Monday for Clark County, even triple digits next week. I mean, it got gnarly down at State Line yesterday with that super heavy rain. Ken was flying overhead, and you can see how everything just really got swampy all along I-15. Ken's up right now this morning. Give us your take of what was going on down there yesterday, Ken.
Yeah, it was a muddy mess. As a matter of fact, here's some earlier video that I'm playing back up here in the helicopter from yesterday afternoon along Nipton Road, Sherry. And you can see where even these tractor trailers were kind of navigating. This wash earlier during the height of the storm was just completely flooding and sending that mud flow debris right over the highway. Right now, though, obviously things are back to normal down there in Prim and down on Nipton Road in the California area. But it was definitely quite a mess earlier yesterday afternoon. We're back out here live now. Here we are in town. This is going to be US 95 right at Jones Boulevard. We do have a minor little pesky accident. This red car actually rear-ended the back end of the cement truck, and really obviously very little damage here. It's a very minor accident, but nonetheless it looks like here we got a classic case of the walk of shame out here right on the Jones Boulevard off-ramp from the northbound side of US 95. Obviously NHP is doing a field sobriety test. Now we'll send it down to Demetria for the rest of our morning commute.
Well, thank you, Ken, and expect a lot of that along the north part of the Strip. SLS opening tonight. Metro will be out there. 215 and Gibson, no slowdowns here whatsoever. If you're traveling eastbound here, moving away from us, a very easy commute. Same thing about the westbound lanes. Now, I want to check in with the Spaghetti Bowl. I'm not seeing too many delays here. Southbound 95 not having a huge problem merging onto southbound 15. Northbound 15 at this time looks really good heading toward us there. Now, there are no other accidents out on our freeways, and I just wanted to show you some travel times. If you are headed northbound along I-15 from 215 to the Spaghetti Bowl, it'll be an 11-minute commute. And those of you coming in from the Spaghetti Bowl taking southbound 15 to the south part of the Beltway, it'll be an 8-minute drive there. Now let's send things over to Aaron.
Thanks, Demetria. Today, Malaysia observed a day of mourning for the victims of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17. It's been more than a month since the airliner was shot down above eastern Ukraine. This morning, the bodies and ashes of 20 of the 43 victims from Malaysia arrived at the airport in Kuala Lumpur. A special ceremony was held where family members and government officials paid their respects to the victims.
Airstrikes in Syria are not out of the question, according to Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. He says all options are on the table in the fight against ISIS. U.S. airstrikes in Iraq continued yesterday to help Iraqi and Kurdish forces maintain control of the critical Mosul dam. Hagel said U.S. efforts have stalled the militant group's momentum, but said they will likely regroup and launch a new offensive. He pointed to the execution of reporter James Foley as an example of the group's ruthless and barbaric ideology.
The standout player on Team USA in this year's World Cup taking a break. Goalie Tim Howard says he's taking a one-year hiatus from the U.S. men's national team. He says he's played overseas for the last 12 years and has missed spending time with his family. The team's head coach says he understands Howard's decision and will welcome him back with open arms at any time.
The U.S. Copyright Office doesn't monkey around.
The decision it made after this monkey's selfie went viral.
And we give away exciting prize packs to our lucky news viewers on our 8 News Now Facebook page. Here are all the details. Well, someone's got to watch the rooftop. It is a big job, and everybody's got a job there for the grand opening of the SLF. We'll have an in-depth look coming up as well, and all day long here on 8 News Now. Well, don't ever let a monkey use your camera if you want to claim ownership of the pictures it takes. The U.S. Copyright Office says monkey selfies taken with a human's camera are free for everyone to use. This comes after a dispute over photographs taken by a monkey in Indonesia. They're now on the public domain site WikiCommons. Now, the owner of the camera says, I want those taken down. But that's not going to happen because the Copyright Office ruled against him. He thought, oh, since a monkey had his camera, they belong to him. But they don't, because the monkey took the pictures himself.
And the monkey,
it's
he's just going bananas over it. Camera guy trying to take advantage of him. All right, Demetria, let's get to what's driving you crazy this morning.
Thank you, Aaron. Today's question comes from a viewer living in Anthem area, and they say when traveling east on Reunion Drive from Eastern, it's almost impossible to turn right onto Anthem Parkway. There's a large community sign blocking the view, so you can't see cars coming from your left. Can the sign be moved so you can see oncoming traffic better? We got in touch with Henderson, and this location has been reviewed several times by traffic engineers. First, the city believes that there is enough distance to safely turn onto the roadway, despite the sign. Henderson traffic engineers say the sign is at least 350 feet outside the travel lane, and they say that's enough for drivers to make a safe turn when turning right on red. They also suggested that if a driver feels uncomfortable turning on red, they should wait until the signal turns green and then continue their drive. Henderson will intervene, however. It's regarding a hedge that is right by the sign that could possibly restrict sight distance if it's allowed to grow past the edges of the sign. Henderson has contacted the community association and has asked to have the hedge removed. Hey, what else is driving you crazy? Send your traffic question to traffic8@8newsnow.com.
All right, thanks, Demetria. A beluga whale at a zoo decided to have a little fun with a couple of kids. Check this out. This video has just gone viral, even though it happened last year. This is Juno, the beluga whale, playing with some kids at an aquarium in Connecticut. A marine biologist at the aquarium says Juno was playing peekaboo with the kids, and well, their reaction just kept egging him on. She also says Juno has a reputation for watching people who come to watch him.
So sweet, and they're just ecstatic, you know? Ah, look at that, that's priceless.
Making traffic lights work for you.
Coming up at 6:30, the clear dangers that could come from people hacking traffic signals way too easily.
But first this morning, here's a look at today's job listings from VegasJobMatch.com.
It doesn't open until midnight, but we are live inside of the new SLS Hotel on the north end of the Strip. A report coming up.
And it's move-in day, the special event UNLV is prepping for this morning to get the new students pumped up for the school year.
And Mountain Ridge gears up for a big game, the impressive draw so far, as Las Vegas shines bright at the Little League World Series.
Welcome to a brighter morning. This is 8 News Now with Kirsten Joyce, Sherry Swent, and Brian Loftus.
And a good morning to you. Thanks so much for starting your Friday with us.
It is Friday. Brian has the day off. I'm Aaron Drawhorn filling in. Good morning, everyone. And today, the north end of the Strip gets a new lease on life with the brand new SLS Las Vegas opening at midnight.
Of course, the Sahara shut down back in 2011. Since February of last year, those workers have been toiling away, transforming the shell of the old casino into a luxurious new property.
We continue our live team coverage this morning. You can see Chopper Ken Smith's great views behind us right here from high above in Chopper 8.
But first, of course, we've got Cherie, who's inside the newest resort on the Strip. How's everything going out there, Cherie?
Good morning, guys. It is so amazing just to be in here. I can't get over it. It doesn't open, but we have VIP treatment this morning. Tonight is the big night. Celebrities hit the red carpet, 7 p.m. Everyone from Lenny Kravitz to Sharon Stone. And something they will all be checking out is the design of the new SLS. Seriously luxurious style. The SLS says those 3 words are a reflection of the new resort and casino inside and out. I mean, the first thing you really notice is the color. While many other properties are black or colorful, the SLS is very bright and vibrant, but inside, unique features include floating beds that emulate a luxury pool daybed, ceiling mirrors, a peekaboo shower that's just inches away from the bed. There's even special attention to the layout of the restaurants and the clubs. One restaurant, Foxtail, or bar that is, kind of plays off of the pool. And designers from other countries painted all sorts of stories and sayings throughout the property. In spite of it all, though, one of the designers assures Las Vegans and tourists there is something for everyone.
We're after, middle America, and we're not high society. We have a twist of humor in everything we do, and it's much more approachable.
And some of the eateries include Bazaar Meats Restaurant, 800 Degree Pizza, Katsuyu Restaurant, and the Griddle Cafe, just to name a few. The resort also features Life Nightclub, Monkey Bar, the Sayers Club, and even some retail, including Fred Siegel. But this, as we are back out here live, the luxury resort and casino has more than 1,600 guest rooms, 80,000 square feet of meeting space, and we are inside right now 60,000 square feet of the gaming area right next to the sports bar. So we will be having continuing coverage throughout the day, but very cool to have the first look inside the new SLS this morning. Back to you guys.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge entertainment mecca for the Strip. I was thinking earlier, then and now, the opening act at the Sahara was the guy from The Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow.
Wow, and now, fast forward so many more years, it's Iggy Azalea. So, yeah, just goes to show the changing of the times.
Times are changing. Thank you, Cherie.
Absolutely.
Well, of course, Ken Smith's continuing our team coverage, High Above in Chopper 8.
He has all the details on where you should park if you plan on checking out the grand opening at midnight. Up to you, Ken.
Yeah, I wouldn't really even bother trying to head over here to parking. I mean, they're going to have a massive VIP party even before the opening at midnight. And I believe the folks over here at SLS, they're blocking off a whole section of the parking garage dedicated just for the VIP. So only a small section on the back side of the parking garage off of Paradise is going to be available for the general public. Your best bet, especially if you are a local, you use your Nevada ID, get on the monorail at one of the other casinos for only $1 each way. I believe it's running till about 3 o'clock in the morning. Some of the cool things I've noticed here, and I certainly am excited about the fact, I hate to see a casino close like the Sahara close at 2011, but I don't know if any of you at home have ever been over the Sahara before they shut down. The elevators in the parking garage were atrocious. They were awful and almost scary to ride. Now they're all remodeled. They're all looking good. They got a giant stage set up down here below us right at the main pool for the big shindig tonight, starting for all the VIPs coming over here before they open up at midnight. 3 different towers that look spectacular, and a firework display that's going to be shooting off sometime during the evening. Been watching some of the crews up here on the rooftop of the SLS actually setting up fireworks. So even if you don't want to fight the traffic to get in here directly, maybe you can just park somewhere, maybe within a half mile or so, and just watch the fireworks right here at the SLS. And of course, we have our artsy fartsy thing right down here at the middle of the main entrance. I still haven't been able to figure out what this one-eye wonder actually is. That's the latest from up here. Dimitri, it's staring up at me. What is it?
It reminds me of that starfish from SpongeBob. I don't know, but it's got one eye, so it's throwing me off.
I don't know. It looks kind of scary.
Well, thank you so much, Ken. Now, we're watching an accident on the northbound 95 off-ramp to Jones, and here it is. A vehicle ran into a cement truck, and that's somewhat causing delays as you get off of northbound 95, but drivers are working their way around it, and so I do expect this to clear somewhat soon, maybe in the next hour or so. I-15 at Bonneville, southbound 15 lanes not looking too bad right now. Usually around this time, that's where we begin to see really big delays, but because it's Friday and we see less people out on the roadways, not really the case as of right now. And also just a quick reminder, school is back in session and CCSD schools start back on Monday, so slow down in those school zones. Now it's time for Weather with Sherry.
All right, thanks so much, Dimitri. And of course, some private schools started this week, so there are already some of those school zones out and about. Watch for those kids, and then watch the skies as they have cleared out. And the good news is we can relax a little bit heading into the weekend, because the air, even though we still have some pretty good humidity out there now, it will begin to dry out more today and even more so into the weekend. This low pressure that was off the coast pulling up that monsoon into our area over the last few days is now shifting off to the east, and that's going to help push the monsoon out with it too. So that allows things to dry out. Temperatures low 70s, even some upper 60s, but you got to factor in 40, 50, even 60+% humidity. So that's why I say it doesn't feel as good as it could if the air was a little bit drier, but that'll take place a little more today and into the weekend. We'll be into the upper 80s by noon, and we'll finish off in the mid 90s today. That's still below normal. Kirsten, we're going to warm up a little more into the weekend. We'll check those numbers and get that back to school forecast that kids and parents can plan on for Monday. Coming up just a little bit.
All right, thanks so much, Sherry. It is back to the baseball diamond for Mountain Ridge players today as they practice before the U.S. Championship game tomorrow. Yesterday, though, the boys got one day off to relax and relish in going undefeated so far in the Little League World Series. Tomorrow, they'll face Chicago's Jackie Robinson West Little League team for a rematch. The first time the mercy rule ended that game with Mountain Ridge winning. Whoever wins tomorrow's game will play the international team on Sunday for the World Series championship game. Wednesday night's game just happened to be the most watched matchup ever here in Las Vegas. According to the Nielsen ratings, 16% of all places with TVs had them tuned to the game, breaking a record in Philadelphia as well. Nearly 15% of households there with TVs also watching. Chicago will take on the Mountain Ridge All-Stars tomorrow, so be sure to wear your blue to support them and use hashtag Mountain Ridge whenever you post on Twitter or Facebook.
UNLV gets back to the classroom on Monday, but today returning students will move into their dorms. Freshmen already moved in on Wednesday. To get the student body excited, UNLV is hosting its Rebel Welcome Day. Freshmen will have the chance to meet each other and network with advisors and faculty. That will be held at the Thomas & Mack starting at 9 o'clock this morning.
Well, the Ice Bucket Challenge, sometimes things go a little wrong.
How 2 firefighters were hurt while taking part in the viral sensation.
Of course, with the SLS grand opening at midnight, there are going to be some special fireworks going off. Aaron?
Yes, Southern California comes to the Strip, all that Hollywood crowd tonight, and a lot of fireworks for everyone to see. Sherry, how is the forecast going to be for that spectacular show in the sky?
Well, you know what? We're going to get a few breezes today, so hopefully, though, not downright windy enough to stop those fireworks. But if you're headed to the mountains, we are looking at some fairly good breezes up there, maybe up to 30 miles an hour in the afternoon. And if it's too windy, you might want to turn off your sprinklers too, because that's always somewhat wasteful. Just remember that we're on that summer watering schedule through the end of August, and then we'll switch to the fall watering schedule September 1st. That will be 3 assigned days a week. Right now you can water any day of the week, just no watering between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., those hottest hours of the day. Those time of day watering restrictions, by the way, those continue all the way through September, but the days will change. All right, 71 up on the mountain. Again, those bumpy, breezy winds. Red Rock in the low 90s today. Out at the lake, we're looking at 96 and may get a little of that wind out there as well. Mostly sunny skies, though, should be nice, and Laughlin will get close to 100 degrees. So there's your recreational forecast, and it will get a little warmer in both places as we get all those places as we get into the weekend. All right, let's check in with Demetria, see what's going on with your traffic news.
Thank you, Sherry. Well, just remember the northbound 95 off-ramp to Jones, we do have an accident blocking a lane there. Traffic is getting past it. Just watch out for that. But I wanted to show those of you in the Centennial area your commute along southbound 95 this morning. Looking great, but once you hit the Spaghetti Bowl, definitely start to expect some delays around southbound 15. Now, for the southern part of the Beltway, also those of you coming in from the Henderson area, 215 westbound looks great at this time. Now, moving a little bit closer to the airport connector just to get a check of some speeds in the area. People moving about 70 miles per hour in this area, so no delays if you're catching a flight this morning. Now, let's send things up to Ken, who's got a look at the Spaghetti Bowl for us.
Yeah, the old noodle bowl this morning. Looking here at southbound I-15, right where 95 all kind of meshes together in our little spaghetti mess here on the southbound side of I-15. Delays southbound I-15 started at Washington, heading through the Spaghetti Bowl. 95 transition ramp to southbound I-15 also starting to back up a bit. So far, only about a 3 to 5 minute drive time delay in spite of these heavy delays you're seeing on your screen. And also earlier video we shot from Chapel. A red car smashed into the back end of a cement truck here, and it's right in the middle of the Jones Boulevard off-ramp from the northbound side of US 95. NHP was out here doing a little bit of a photo shoot there, taking some evidence shots, and this guy was doing earlier the walk of shame as doing a field sobriety test. Unknown on his fate this morning, but the bottom line, if you're traveling on that off-ramp, you're going to have to move to the left or move to the right to get by. Guys, we'll send it back downstairs to you.
Thank you, Ken. National Guard troops are beginning to pull out of Ferguson, Missouri today. This comes as tensions in the city are easing, but protesters continue to call for justice over the shooting death of Michael Brown by police officer Darren Wilson. Missouri State Highway Patrol Captain Ron Johnson visited a community center and got a special gift from kids who have begun to play again.
The kids that were there today gave me this sock puppet before I left. This is what defines a community.
On Thursday, demonstrators delivered petitions calling for the removal of the prosecutor overseeing the case. They claim he can't judge without bias because of his ties to law enforcement. In dozens of cities across the country, protesters participated in a day of rage, even gathering outside the White House.
2 firefighters were seriously injured after taking part in the Ice Bucket Challenge. They helped soak the Campbell University marching band from their ladder bucket, but when they were being lowered to the ground, they just came too close to a power line. The electricity jumped from that power line to their basket, shocking them. They are in the hospital this morning.
Ever wish you could rig the traffic lights to be green during your morning commute? Turns out it may not be hard to do at all. According to a University of Michigan study, traffic lights across the U.S. are dangerously easy to hack. Researchers worked with officials and found that they were able to change traffic lights all by using a laptop in their truck. They did this back in May, and they did it in an undisclosed city in Michigan. The name of the traffic light equipment manufacturer is not named in the study. However, CNN claims the lights, and the controllers that were all hacked were made by one of the largest makers of signals, cameras, and traffic management systems in North America.
Well, this is a fire in the space station, but nobody's panicking about it.
The reason they're purposefully burning jet fuel in microgravity. It is 6:45. 8 News Now this morning rolls on this Friday.
6:48 this morning, a fire on board the International Space Station has one astronaut pretty excited. Reed Weissman tweeted out this video yesterday. He was conducting an experiment to see how fuel burns in microgravity. Weissman wrote, "The burning droplets look like jellyfish on fire." NASA says the experiments could lead to the development of safer spacecraft and increased fuel efficiency back here on Earth.
They just look awesome.
Doesn't that look cool?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see why he's excited.
Yeah, that's the only fire you ever want to be excited about. It's like I read that earlier, fire, International Space Station.
Yeah. Well, you know, astronauts, they have their own high, right?
Yeah.
Sherry, you're so quick and witty.
I'm excited that we're going to dry out for the weekend and people don't have to worry about storms, so you can get out and do what you want to do. If you got a golf game, a tennis game, kids sports, whatever's going on, right? Or back to school shopping for school supplies and all that. We've got beautiful low 70s, even some upper 60s this morning. Humidity, though, still quite high. We're talking maybe 40 to 60% around the valley. Now, highs, as we look around the desert Southwest today, you don't see too many triple digits. That low pressure system has been moving through Southern California. We've got residual cooling after yesterday's nice rains. And of course, it was swampy rains, unfortunately caused flooding down around State Line, Mountain Pass to Nipton Road. And then Kingman, you've gotten hit again with rain yesterday, but done really well. Over 3 inches of rain for the monsoon season for Kingman. Needles has picked up like over 5 inches of rain for the season. We're still way behind, but it'd be nice to catch up on the rainfall. But when the weekend comes, you just kind of want to relax and not worry about stormy weather. All right, 95 today. We still have the residual moisture. We'll see some clouds around for the afternoon, but we're going to get some southwest breezes with a cold front that's kind of moving through northern Nevada, and that's going to help sweep out the moisture as well. Mid 90s to upper 90s and even close to 100 as we get to Sunday. So the heat will return a little bit as kids head back to school with all their new stuff to start the school year on Monday. Here's Demetria with the, looks like you're stuck.
Not an accident. Yes, what we're looking at here is an accident. A car ran into this cement truck here, and so this lane is blocked. Drivers are able to get off the northbound 95 off-ramp to Jones, but they're doing it a little slow because of this accident, so watch out for that as you're heading out this morning. Also, just in an accident along eastbound 215 at Jones as well, so for those of you taking the Southern Beltway, just be careful out there. Now, also tonight, the left lane of southbound and northbound I-15 will be closed from Owens to the Spaghetti Bowl. This will be from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next morning. Now, speaking of the Spaghetti Bowl, this is I-15 at Bonneville, and our southbound lanes here looking very, very slow because of the morning rush hour. Northbound 15 not looking too bad right now. Now, Ken is over Paradise and Sahara giving us a look at SLS.
Oh, yes, it's been all SLS pretty much all the time here. And just a reminder, here's the monorail stop. This is the northernmost stop here at the monorail, right here at the old Sahara, now SLS. And they have this nice walkway that takes you in. Once again, the folks with the Nevada ID can do it for only $1. That's half the price of even taking a city bus here for locals. And there is some parking in this area. It'll all fill up. We got some surface parking over here. Of course, I'm sure the folks at the Stratosphere won't appreciate it, but you could probably sneak and park over there or maybe over at the West Gate. They got some parking there, but I guarantee you most of this will all fill up probably by about 10 o'clock tonight as everybody anticipates the grand opening. So your best bet, maybe go a little bit farther south. It's a shame, you know, that the monorail doesn't go all the way and connect to McCarran Airport. That would be really nice for all the people coming in to the Valley from LA for the big shindig tonight at SLS. Kirsten, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Ken. It is 6:52 now, and Robin Williams has been laid to rest nearly 2 weeks after his death. The actor and comedian was cremated, his ashes scattered in the San Francisco Bay. He died from apparent suicide last week. He was 63. His wife recently revealed that he suffered from the early stages of Parkinson's disease along with anxiety and depression. He also battled addiction for many years.
Two American missionaries infected with Ebola while serving in Africa are finally out of the hospital. Dr. Nancy Wright-Bull was released earlier this week. She requested privacy, but not Dr. Kent Brantley. He spoke at a press conference at the hospital where he was receiving treatment.
Today is a miraculous day. I'm thrilled to be alive. I am incredibly thankful to all of those who were involved in my care from the first day of my illness all the way up to today. Please do not stop praying for the people of Liberia and West Africa.
Both received doses of the experimental drug Z-MAP. Neither pose a health risk to the public. Dr. Brantley says he and his family will take some time for themselves now.
Well, catching a foul.
Who Chris Rock handed the ball to after snagging one at a major league ball game.
We've got an NFL preseason game on Channel 8 today. That means we are adjusting our schedules a bit. We're bringing you live coverage of the Oakland Raiders versus Green Bay Packers. The game starts at 5 p.m. So our newscasts are rearranged. We have an hour-long newscast at 4. Then after the game, more news at 8. And then we'll be back on track for 8 News Now at 11.
Love that music. Football season coming here. All right, many times celebrities get called out at sporting events by being blasted on the Jumbotron. But at yesterday's Astros-Yankees game, comedian Chris Rock got some attention by swiping up a foul ball. The announcer said he could be a politician because he hands the ball over to a young boy. The kid cheered and hugged his parents in excitement.
Cool. Not only to get the ball, but get it from Chris Rock, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have made it to Friday. That means it's time to look back at some of this week's brighter moments. Don't forget wearing sunscreen to keep your skin safe from the sun's harmful rays. I mean, do that, but in addition, people in China are now clamoring for a face kini.
There's no kini to it. The kini is supposed to be the teeny part, right? That was just a full-on face mask.
The Tooth Fairy is leaving less this year. For every tooth found under a pillow, the Tooth Fairy is leaving an average of $3.40.
Lifted the pillow up and there was like, there's nothing there last night, and now there's a dime under my pillow.
Very special when the Tooth Fairy visits.
Okay, now, Dimitri is very young. What did you get from the Tooth Fairy?
We got that cash. No,
I'm stronger than I've been before.
Mountain Ridge is riding high this morning after pulling off a huge upset at the Little League World Series.
All the attention, of course, as it should be, was on the 13-year-old female pitcher Monet Davis, but she just didn't have what it takes to stop our local boys.
Let's get right over to Sherry, who was also a softball star back in the day.
Oh, that wasn't softball, was it? That was baseball.
Round 2. Well, a funny family is getting into the school spirit by spoofing Sir Mix-a-Lot's song about his love for big behinds.
Like big buses, I cannot lie. Some other parents may deny, but when a big yellow one comes around the bend and picks up our children, we get sprung.
I love the mom because, you know, not only is she doing like this stuff, she's also going. She got all the facial expressions down, and yeah, baby got backpacks. We're ready to go.
Okay, here I go. Bring it in, Kirsty Joyce.
Salami!
Salami!
Probably should have taken my shoes off first. I was walking down the hallway, and Sherry goes, "Hey, Squishy." Just like, yeah.
And you're doing that today, and then everyone can go to Godden Ford noon tomorrow,
on
right?
Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mountain Ridge this weekend,
Yes.
SLS. It'll
Wear
be a
your
great weekend.
Go win, team!